Hey everyone, welcome to a new video on the channel. Playing a completely new game, both kind of to me, but also a game we've never played on the channel before, called Snakerx or SNKRX. Not really sure what its names are meant to be. Maybe it's Snakerx, who knows. What the game kind of is, we'll just dive on in and get going, and I'll give some kind of explanation. It's kind of a auto chess game. So like TFT or Data Underlords or whatever, whichever one you prefer. That kind of thing where you purchase your heroes, you purchase your units. The more you buy of them, the better they get, etc., etc. There's various classes, all have different synergies. Mixed with a game from Nokia's of old called Snake. Now, hopefully, everyone remembers that, or certainly has heard of it. But as you can see, the kind of idea of the game is that you control. Currently, I'm just one little blob, but we will grow as time goes on. You control a little snake, and instead of like in the old Nokia game where you had to go and hunt down little cubes, in this game you have to kind of run away from various little beans that are chasing you down, while your snake and your units automatically shoot and deal damage and use abilities and all that kind of thing, much like an auto chess game, and survive the waves. You can see in the top there, this is wave 2 or 2. We're kind of about to be there, and that's the first arena done. After each round, you gain some gold, you get some interest if you have enough saved to get interest. I think it's 1 per 5, and then you kind of get thrown into a shop, which is probably quite familiar. As you can see, I just picked up a host to start with. He periodically spawns a critter. We got some other ones to choose from here. I've not played an enormous amount of this game. Not really exactly sure what I'm supposed to be doing, but we'll see how things play out. I played a couple of rounds off camera just to kind of see how, get a feeling of how the game played, and before I jumped into making a video on it. But really haven't experienced very much of it at all. So yeah, we'll see how it pans out. What I have noticed so far, the game seems to be certainly quite easy from my limited experience. Hopefully that's not the case all the way through. I'm sure it will get harder. But yeah, really enjoying what I have played of it so far. It seems super simple, but also kind of really fun as well. Pick ourselves up another unit and move on. It recently launched on Steam, and at quite a cheap price. It's only, I think it's like £2 or something in the UK, so probably at $3 over in the US. I don't know, but really not very much at all for what it is. And yeah, seems worth every penny so far to me. I think you'll get a little bit of enjoyment out of it, and yeah, who knows what kind of replayability it holds, but I would imagine each run can be quite different. That's where the kind of roguelite element comes into this, and yeah, really been enjoying it so far. So what we seem to be doing here, we've got our swarmer at the front who's firing the small little orange beans that are doing damage to the enemy red beans. I don't really know what to call them. I guess they're snakes. Maybe bean isn't the right word. Then we've got our, I think it was a cryomancer in the middle there. He seems to be doing some kind of aura. I should probably read them and work out. There's possibly something I'm supposed to be doing that I'm not doing. Who knows? As you can see, you can lose units. If they take too much damage, then they die. For that fight, they do come back for the next round, so they're not gone forever. But obviously, it makes things harder for the rest of that wave. As you can see here, we're doing very, very little damage now. And our guy at the back, I think it was a miner. It said he just gives us some gold, so he's not doing any damage. He's just there for us to get more money as time goes onwards. And there we go. We have managed to complete that arena. And then every few waves, or every few arenas, you get the choice to pick up a passive. So what they are, for us here, we got Wall Echo. Hitting walls has a 34% chance to release some projectiles. All warriors have up to 50% attack speed based on a missing HP, that's berserking. And then plus 25% AoE, which is amplify. None of these seem great with what we have so far, I would say. We could just pick up a generically good one, something that benefits AoE, and then look for some AoE. Look for some AoE guys. Okay, we'll pick up a merchant. That does give us mercenary, the mercenary class bonus, which is 10% chance for enemies to drop gold. He's not going to do any damage, so we might want to pick up just some other random unit here because we were certainly lacking damage last time. So we'll grab that Vagrant, I think it was. Not sure what he does. Hopefully he's going to be able to kill some stuff for us. So well and good picking up the mercenaries and gaining all the money in the world, but run the risk of not living long enough to spend it. So as you can see, the gameplay loop is fairly, fairly standard. It's not like anything else I've ever really played, but once you've kind of played a round of it, you've probably got the idea of how it's going to play. Now, they do introduce additional types of units as the game goes on, so you're not kind of just fighting these red... I'm going to carry on calling them beans. You're not fighting the red beans for the entire game. As you can see, we've got some green ones joining in, and so on and so forth. We'll pick up another couple of units here and then move on. Yeah, we had some green beans joining us in the last round. Those ones, from what I can tell, when you kill them, they give like a speed boost to all the enemy beans around them. They've actually seemed to be like one of the more difficult things to deal with so far. So shall carry on and see what else appears. That's the only ones I've seen so far. I'm assuming there's more as we get into this further. I think at the moment it goes up to 25 waves, 25 rounds. So it does go on for quite a while. I don't know kind of how it is later on in the game. Maybe it gets significantly harder. Although it's entirely possible if we keep doing things like that we'll never get to find out because I'm not doing a great job. So those little gold things, it seems that I should be picking those up, which is interesting. Hadn't quite twigged that, so there are some interesting mechanics at play here. So that's presumably the gold that enemies can drop that these mercenaries are giving me that I should be doing my best to grab. We'll keep an eye out for that this round. But what you don't want to be doing is essentially what I just did there, and just diving straight through the middle of everybody. It's probably ill-advised. As you can see in the bottom left corner, each segment of your snake, so each like unit, has a health bar. And you can see ours aren't doing great at the moment, having just jumped into the middle of a load of enemy beans. They do regenerate over time, from what I can tell. They slowly heal themselves. And there is a second bar down there, that's kind of their attack charge time. So here we've got another passive choice, so Wall Rider, hit 'em all grants some movement speed buff, extra healing, and extra curse. I don't think we're doing any healing or cursing, so we'll just take the other one for the time being and see what the shop has to offer us. So we do have a Vagrant, so it's not the worst idea to just pick up another one. If we pick up this Flagellant, it would give us the Psyker set bonus, which is 10% damage and attack speed per active set to allied Psykers. This Cryomancer doesn't seem to be doing an enormous amount, so we will go ahead and pick that up. And you can kind of see how the Autochess side of this is all coming into play now, where we're looking for synergy. The whole idea of the game now is to build out our synergies, start leveling up our units, kind of pick out the synergies that the game offers you. You're not going to be able to make the same snake every single time, obviously, but very much like how every other auto battler works. And we'll carry on our way, doing as much kiting as we can, trying to hide from the ones that get fast, although they seem to be significantly quicker than us, although we can get a speed boost every time we hit the wall, so maybe it's worth just bouncing off the wall now and again. Does seem to make a significant difference. And hopefully stay out the way of too many of the enemy beams, because hit them too much and we certainly won't live to see another round. And still forgetting to keep picking up these bits of gold, so we'll just run around and do it now. Okay, so here we've got another Psyker. Not sure we actually really want him, he doesn't seem that good. 25 gold is the cap on interest, so that's the way you get 5 interest per run. So we could do a bit of rolling here, looking for something like that. So this Psychic has the Psyker set bonus, and he also deals AoE damage, which works quite well with our Amplify. We could probably sell something to make space for him, see if he's any good. Who knows? Give him a go. And pick up another Miner, he's now level 2. Then we have our Ranger set bonus, we have the Mercenary set bonus, and we have the Psyker set bonus, and we'll carry on from there, see what else the game throws at us. So this is the furthest I've now made it, so we're about to find out whether it does get any amount harder from here on out. We'll say this run has seemed actually slightly more difficult than the ones I've done recently, or the run I did off camera. That is not what we want to be doing, charging into the middle of a spawning pack of beans. I think what we need to do is probably come up with a name for each of these. So we can have the red ones are kidney beans. Oh dear. This has not gone well. Right, we're going to hide. We'll run away from these kidney beans and see if our 2 little white blobs can do the job and bring this home. It's looking like we might be able to just about get there. Kidney beans are a bit slow and a bit not really able to keep up with us, so we've managed to just about sneak home with that one. It's probably about time that we start looking for some upgrades here, because we're not going to be able to get away with that for much longer. So we'll keep doing a bit of roll-in, looking for some stuff to fill out our team. Pick up another Psychic. Nothing much here that we're interested in. We'll take the Archer, grab another Miner, and another Flagellant, and let's move on and see if that's good enough. One other thing we've not done just yet, so you can reorder the way your snake is set up. So you can see at the moment we've got our 2 mercenaries at the front. You can change that. We could put kind of any unit we choose at the front. It's kind of our prerogative. Perhaps next time we're in the shop we'll have a look at that. Maybe there's a better way we could be setting this up. Because at the moment I don't feel like we're going to be living very long, if the last couple of rounds are anything to go by. It's entirely possible that that's completely my own fault. Have seemed to have quite the ability to just charge head-on into packs of kidney beans, as is demonstrated perfectly on screen right there. And we just lost another couple of units. We'll take it nice and easy and just stay away from them as much as we can here for the last couple of waves. As you can see, we seem to have a new type of bean, a white bean. We'll call them haricos. So the harico seems to shoot bullets at us, whereas the kidney beans just charge at you and deal damage through contact. Don't know if there's any more types of beans that we've not seen yet, and we're getting seriously close to having no chance to see any more types of beans. This is our last cube. He's holding strong. Last man standing has managed to clear it up. Kind of feel like this is my fault at this point. This is what you'd call poor play rather than the beans not being good enough. So we got another choice for a passive. Echo Barrage, 20% chance to create 3 secondary AoEs on an AoE hit. 50% damage to rangers and rogues, and some extra healing. So we do have some rangers, and we do have an AoE. I think we'll take the one that does stuff for rangers and rogues, and possibly look to sell some guys and pick up rogues. Let's see what we can find. Got another miner. So the scout is a rogue. I was thinking we should probably look to start selling these merchants. Just on the basis that they're not doing any damage for us, which is not where we want to be. However, we have made that miner up to level 3, so perhaps he is now good enough. This Asura is a Cursor Mercenary Voider. He curses nearby enemies with debt, dealing 13 damage a second. So that rogue that we just bought, perhaps, isn't going to stay in our team very long. Who knows? Now we could sell. Let's sell the Flagellant. We'll just keep 2 Psychers active and then pick this guy up. It does get us the mercenary bonus again. So Thief is a rogue and a mercenary, which is kind of everything we want, really. So we could sell. So the Vagrant would lose us our Psyker, as would Psychic. Maybe it's just time we give up on these Psychers. And we'll pick up this Thief. He seems pretty good. And another rogue. So we've got the choice now. We could ditch these Psychers completely and just pick up another rogue and see where we go. Yeah, why don't we do that? This guy also a rogue. He spawns critters if he crits. So could ditch off that archer, pick up the rogue. And there we go. So we're just under the threshold for getting maximum interest. We'll jump into another round. Well, there we go. We've just sort of shown how simple it is to kind of go from a build that we were playing, mostly focused on those white Psychers, and now we're almost entirely a rogue build. So I don't know which one's better. I don't know where we'd like to be, but what we were doing wasn't really working for us. So let's see if this is any better. I will say that miner, now that he is ranked up to level 3 and he's picked up some new abilities, does seem really quite good. He is definitely doing a lot more damage when we get to pick up these little gold blobs. And there we go, arena clear. We didn't lose anybody that time, so maybe that was the right choice after all. Just do a couple of rerolls. See if there's anything in the shop for us. There's a scout. So once, it's worth pointing out, and this is much like any other auto chest, so you see this miner, he's at level 3. We can't buy any more miners now. He's at his maximum level. That's kind of him for the rest of the game now. Okay, didn't really find much there, so we'll move on into wave 11. One thing I have seen is that there is like a new game plus or something along those lines where you can make the game more difficult. Presumably somehow able to get a bigger snake. It's what I've seen so far. The largest size your snake can be is 7. It'd be pretty cool if we could go longer. I don't know if we can. We'll see. as we play a bit more of this, whether we can go any further into it or not. But it definitely seems to be the case that we're doing much better setup this way. These new orange beans, however, are doing an enormous amount of damage to us. We'll call them baked beans. I don't know what their purpose is, but they are doing a huge amount of damage. So we'll whiz through and pick up some more things that we're interested in. So this would give us our 6th rogue. Problem is, to do it, we do have to sell. So we could sell this guy and still keep our mercenary benefit and pick up the jester. That seems reasonable. Whiz through, grab some more. So there is another mercenary. Deals 2 times damage, where 2 is how much gold you have. Interesting. And that'll do. That's our maximum for interest. So there we go. We're kind of fully into a rogue build now, and against an elite. This is a blue elite. So the blue ones, as you can see, they kind of fire out in every direction when you shoot them, or when you kill them, rather. Don't we have a name for a blue bean? I'm not sure there is any blue beans. But it doesn't really matter. He went down so easily, it's not really interesting anyway. So here, another passive. We got +2 crit health. Taking damage shares it across all enemies at 25%. And if rangers do something, we don't have any. Yeah, we've been taking a lot of damage. Let's just be boring and take the health. That seems like a reasonable plan. And then we'll do the usual rolling down to 25 and pick up anything that's in our team. Which isn't an enormous amount. So this dual gunner we've not seen many of. Could pick up an assassin instead. I suppose there's not really any real reason to go with either or. We'll stick with our gunner. And there's another one. Why not? Move on to wave 13. One thing I have noticed about this game that I really do like, I don't know if I've mentioned this yet, but the sound effects and the music is really, really, really good. Just like really nice to listen to. Doesn't kind of get in the way, just adds kind of to the ambience and the feeling of the game. Yeah, the developer, I don't know if it was one guy, I'm assuming it was one guy that made this. Done a really good job there. Done a really good job with the game, I think, and actually a lot better than you might expect it to be, certainly given the price tag. But the cost of it doesn't always indicate how good it's going to be. It definitely applies in this case. Do our usual, haven't found anything by 25 gold, so we'll jump back into another wave and see if we can carry on our winning streak. And we seem to have some purple beans joining the fray now. Not really sure what we could call purple beans either. I'm running out of bean types. Definitely noticing things. Obviously now we have some synergy going with, you know, the way we've chosen to set the team up with all rogues. Definitely noticing things getting a bit easier. We're doing a lot more damage, that's for sure. Although, as ever, as I mentioned earlier, the green beans, which seemingly a perfect name for those, doing an enormous amount of damage to us. We really do have to be careful with those. They are the big problem. Where they choose, when you kill them, making everything dash into you is definitely an issue. This is not a situation we want to be in, but we've just about managed to survive. Again, there's been a couple of situations like that. It's getting a bit closer for my liking. Do a bit of re-rolling here, see if we can pick up some units. And There's a couple for us, and another gunner. Okay, we'll jump back into another game. The only thing that I would say with this is that I don't know how it chooses what to put in the shop. I don't know whether it's just random. But obviously, in a normal auto chess game, you know, your shop's dictated by what other players aren't taking, which presumably can't really be the case here. So I'm guessing it is just some sort of random, you know, randomly generated list of what comes into the shop for you. But don't know whether it's going to be the case that obviously you have to play a few more games to really work this out. But I don't know if it's going to be the case as to, you know, if you just roll, you know, badly on the RNG, is it just going to be impossible to find units you're interested in, or is there just going to be a build that, oh, that's the best, let's just buy that every time because there's no way it's not going to be available because I'm not drafting units against other players. Although, to be honest with you, seems like the kind of game where there's no real reason to be doing that kind of thing. It's more about the fun rather than being able to win every time, I would say. Let's see what we got in the shop this time. Not an enormous amount. We'll roll to 25 as per usual and pick up anything we're interested in. So this guy is a rogue. Don't really want to sell anything to get him on the team. I said we'll roll to 25, but do you know what? Sometimes you just can't help yourself. You gotta have another couple of looks. The perfect unit could have been in the next shop. Who knows? Oh, that is not where we want to be when all them spawn at all. But what we will do is use the miner to pick up these bits of gold and hopefully find that that does the job for us. And try and keep our distance, which I am doing a terrible job of. I am talking less, but that's because I'm actually having to concentrate a bit more here. Didn't expect that from a game that was originally released 20 years ago on a Nokia. Which is very unfair to call it that, because it is a lot more. It is a lot more. And, you know, really, the developer behind this, whether it is one guy or a team, I don't know, but the people behind this have done a great job of kind of fusing the auto chess genre, which so far has kind of been dominated in one area. It's a multiplayer kind of game, and kind of fusing it with the roguelite genre, which has been one of the more popular ones certainly over the last few years and doesn't show any signs of slowing down. Kind of seems like a match made in heaven, really. So a good idea, one that seems to have come together. So what will be interesting to see is whether we start to see more games of this kind of genre. So auto chess kind of becoming its own subgenre, not necessarily of just roguelikes, but of just games in general. That'd be quite interesting. As I say, they've all been the same kind of thing so far. It'd be quite cool to see some experiments in that space, and that's certainly what this game is, and it pulls it off quite well. If you're looking for an opinion as to whether you should pick this up or not, honestly, at the price it's at, it's almost impossible to say no. I think for the kind of £2 or so that it's going to cost you, or regional equivalent, there's no way you're not going to get your money's worth. Let's jump into another round. So we're up to 18 out of 25 now. I don't know what happens if we get to 25. Whether the game just finishes or if we get the option to go on, but I'm not going to keep this video going on beyond that length. We will we'll see how it goes. Either we will reach wave 25 and complete it, and that'll be the end for this time. Perhaps we'll come back with another video covering the New Game Plus if that's an option. Or the more likely scenario is that we'll die on our way to wave 25. And we won't get to find out this time, but perhaps next time. There is another elite beaten. And another choice of passives. Now, we got one for knives thrown by rogues chain. That seems kind of exactly what we want, right? We're not really interested in the others, so yeah, we'll grab that and move on. Can't buy any more scouts. None of these are for us. We do have a dual gunner, we do have an outlaw. That's a nuker. We do have outlaws. Rolled completely past 25, but what can you do? Sometimes I just don't pay attention. I think it's every 5 gold you get 1 interest, so up to a max of 25, so really we kind of want to be sitting around the multiple of 5, but I'm not sure whether we need to think into it in that much detail, to be honest. This seems to be going quite well now. Seemed difficult in the early game. We were kind of having a bit of troubles around wave kind of 5 to 10, and ever since then it seems to have gone quite nicely for us. Do have a new enemy here. We've got yellow beans. I don't know what yellow beans are, but yeah, fitting name for them. They will be known as yellow beans. They seem to be not really sure. It's a bit hard to tell sometimes what's coming off of my snake and what's coming off the enemy beans. I think it was firing some sort of lightning, but a bit difficult to really know. So we're just going to roll a bit and pick up some units. We're getting very close to some level 2s, level 3s, so I think we'll just roll a little bit more, by which I mean a lot bit more. Throw away a load of gold and try and get those up to the maximum level as we get towards the end of the waves. We're back with some more green beans. They have been our arch nemesis so far. Hopefully they're not going to prove the downfall of my snake. But the game continues to be definitely enjoyable. Finding the later waves more fun than the earlier waves, just because there's a lot more going on, to be honest with you. Still not really sure what the different colours. It's easy to work out what some of the enemy beans do. Obviously worked out the green ones do the speed, the blue ones fire the bullets. Really have no idea what this yellow one's doing. He must be doing something. Hopefully we'll work it out at some point. Not this wave though, because we have completed it. Let's see what's in our shop. Pick up another gunner, pick up another jester, and another outlaw. And another beastmaster. And we have now managed to spend every penny. On to wave 21. I did notice this one at the bottom there just said hard. I don't know if any of others have said that. I haven't noticed it if they have, but we'll see if that pans out to be true. It's got 10 waves. So far not seemed too difficult. Just some red and orange beans. Baked beans. Baked beans and kidney beans for this wave. More of the same. Seem to be doing a perfect job of getting rid of these before they get anywhere near us, so shan't worry too much. We'll just keep hiding on the other side of the screen. One thing I've not really looked at is to whether there's any penalty for just picking up units and selling it back to the shop. Generally speaking, in an auto chess, auto battler game, you know, you take a loss at some point when you purchase units and then sell them back. Haven't had a look if that is the case. Maybe we should have a quick look at that next time. Next time we're in the shop, just out of curiosity, really. But given this one was marked as hard, definitely wouldn't. We've fought harder waves, that's for sure. So this one's mages, nukers, voiders, enemies move slower, curse duration. Let's just have some slow moving enemies. Seems like it's going to benefit us. So this cost us 3 times 3, so yeah, it is a little bit of a loss. So it does work like a normal auto battler in that sense. You can't just sell out of everything and get back what you put in. Just good to know, really. So we are maxed out on outlaws. Pick up another jester. I think that's us maxed out on. Not quite maxed out. Nearly maxed out on the jesters. No more outlaws. Don't want him. There we go. Let's get on to another wave. Wave 22. I mentioned earlier on that we can change the ordering of our snake. Obviously, we haven't done that at all. It's really just not felt like we've needed to. I'm sure there is probably some theory behind what you want at the front, and maybe you want to put something with a lot of HP at the front so you can charge into units with it. I'm not really sure, but it's definitely not really felt to me like there's a reason for me to bother about it. I don't know whether they're planning on doing any kind of tweaks to this and whether any balancing is in the works, or whether there's any thoughts to whether certain builds are too strong or anything like that. I don't know whether the developer's looking at that, but it'd be interesting to see kind of some more play in that space. That, I don't know, maybe units that do certain things depending on where they are in the chain. That'd be kind of interesting. A little bit of space they could play with, but yeah, I think overall, highly recommend this game. If you haven't already had a look at it, check it out. It's on Steam. Get it onto your wish list. You could wait for a sale, but honestly, like I've said before, the price is so cheap that there's no real reason to. Just pick it up, go and have a few hours of fun. I can't imagine it's the kind of game you're going to put 200 hours into. Who knows? Somebody will. Somebody will prove me wrong on that point, I'm sure. Still no idea what these jelly beans are doing. We're just going to carry on pretending like there's something to be afraid of, but really all we're worried about is the green beans. They are the danger. Although significantly less so now that we've picked up the ability to make them move 20% slower on our last wave. Okay, let's do some rolling and pick up some more units. See what is here for us. We don't want either of those. Do we have him? No, don't have any assassins. We do have dual gunners. We do have a thief. He is now level 2. Interesting. Okay. As you can see there, I was getting a message. I was trying to purchase another unit. We've reached the maximum of 7. We're back into land of baked beans. Yeah, it meets the maximum of 7, so can't purchase any more onto the snake. Like I said earlier, not sure if there is any way to make it go beyond 7, maybe in New Game Plus. If you hit the pause menu, there is like an option here to add New Game Plus. So I'm assuming that you definitely get the option to carry on a run when you complete it. Just not sure whether that allows you to get slightly larger snake or whether you're stuck at 7 bean length for the entirety of the New Game Plus runs as well. Something we'll find out. Perhaps we'll carry this run on in the next video. Or perhaps that's a bit presumptuous of me. Absolutely no guarantee we're going to make it that far, although I will say, I mentioned it earlier that the games felt a bit easy. We had a bit of trouble at one point, but ever since we re-rolled and changed the build kind of to this rogue-centric one, we've had no trouble whatsoever with any of these waves. Green beans have not phased us, baked beans have not phased us, and kidney beans have not phased us. If you're allergic to beans, you might have a bit of trouble, but luckily our snake is not. Although, that being said, a couple of our guys are quite low on life. We'll kind of just try and keep our distance here while we finish off these last few units. And there we go, another wave done. Let's see if we can pick up some more guys. maxed out the Dual Gunner, maxed out the Beastmaster. So what are we still looking for? We're looking for a Jester and Thieves. And this feels very familiar if any of you have played something like TFT. When you get to the end of the game and you're just looking for one specific unit, you just click that reroll button 20 times around and hope for the best. It's kind of the situation we found ourselves in here. Oh. Perhaps we just found out what the yellow does. I don't know what that was, but I don't think we want to find out. Let's move away. Oh, there we go. We have beaten the elite there. So we've got another choice of passives, something for rangers, mages, nukers, voiders, or rotating around ourselves gives defense. Sure. We'll take that one. There's another thief for us. There's another jester. So now we are literally looking for thieves and thieves alone. And this is the last wave, I believe. So we will just use all of our money and not find any. This is 25 out of 25. It's marked as elite. Who knows what that means? Kill the elite. He is colour changing. He is every shade of bean. The green ones still terrify me the most. Definitely want to keep away from those, although that is not what we want to be doing. Oh dear. Panic is set. Oh, I think we have killed the elite, I think, through luck more than skill, I'm going to say. And there we go. That is my first playthrough of this game. And we've managed to win, so who knows, maybe that means it is a little bit too easy. We've beaten the game. It was there we go. So it was made by one person in 3 months as a challenge. Brilliant. And they're going to release more games this year, so definitely keep an eye on what they're doing. And we can try a harder difficulty with +1 max snake size. So that answers some of our questions. We can hit New Game Plus and get some more snakes. But there you go. That has been Snakerx, SNKRX, SNKRX, whatever name you want to choose for it. That's our first play. Might play some more on the channel. Did enjoy it. Who knows? Who knows? We'll see. But if you liked it, then go over to Steam, pick it up, give this guy a couple of quid. He's definitely deserving. And keep an eye out for some more videos on the channel. I'll be back with some more content over the next few days, some more Magic stuff, and we're going to be looking at some other games. Fundamentally, if I'm playing it, I'm going to be recording it and commentating. So if you like that kind of stuff, then hit the subscribe button, stay around. Thank you very much, and I'll catch you next time.